ate a fig. Yes, a fig. Maybe it was fresh, maybe it was dried. You haven't eaten one in years. Now, here is the question. What if I told you that one of the oldest fruits in the human history is now being studied for its potential role in supporting heart health, digestion, healthy aging, and even blood sugar regulation? Yet, most people still think of figs as nothing more than a sweet snack. Today, I'm going to show you why scientists have become interested in this remarkable fruit, what it actually contains, what happens inside your body after you eat it, who may benefit the most, and who should be careful before eating too much of it. And by the end of this life, you will never look at figs the same way again. Before we start, tell me in the comments, do you usually eat fresh figs or dried figs? Right, fresh or dried? I'm curious to see where everyone is watching from and which type you prefer. Okay, let's open. Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting. And here we go again. Okay, welcome back to Dr. T Hub. If you are new here, my name is Dr. T. On this channel, we don't chase health trends, we look at what the science actually says. Everything we discuss is based on evidence, not hype. Today's star is the fig. Yes, here, as you see here, it's a fresh one. Let me show you here. Yes. All of us know it, right? This is our story for today's life. A fruit that's been part of human diet for thousands of years. In fact, figs are mentioned in some of the oldest historical records ever written. Ancient civilizations valued them not only because they tasted good, but because people noticed they seemed to help with digestion and overall health long before scientists understood why. As we see here, can you see? It's a magic. Yes, now modern science or modern research is finally catching up. Let's take a closer look. As we see here, when you cut and open a fig, you are not just looking at sweet flesh. You are looking at hundreds of tiny edible seeds, as you see here. Yes, tiny edible seeds. Those seeds contribute fiber. The fruit itself provides natural sugars for energy, but that's only a small part of the story. Figs also contain potassium, calcium, magnesium, copper, vitamin K, small amounts of several vitamin B, polyphenols, flavonoids, natural antioxidants. These compounds don't work alone. They interact with each other in ways researchers call the food matrix. Yes, these tiny seeds we call as food matrix. That's one reason whole foods often behave differently from isolated supplements. Let me ask you a quick question. When you hear the word fiber, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Constipation, weight loss, blood sugar, gut health? I want you to type in the comments below A, B, C, or D. Your answer tell me a lot about what you are most interested in learning today. Okay, let's imagine you just ate a fresh egg like what I have here. You ate only one. The first thing you noticed is sweetness, right? Your brain immediately recognized carbohydrates. Your digestive system begins preparing to absorb these nutrients, but sometimes or something else is At the same time, the fiber inside this fig slow the digestion process compared with eating pure sugar alone, like in your coffee, for example. That doesn't make a fig slow sugar, no, low sugar fruit. They still contain natural sugars, right? But fiber helps influence how quickly those sugars move through your digestive tract. Sorry. This is one reason nutrition scientists often emphasize eating whole fruit instead of drinking fruit as juice. When you remove much of the fiber, you change how the body experiences that food. And that's an important difference, right? Now let's follow that fig a little farther. Because this is where things get really interesting, most people think digestion is simply about breaking food down, right? But your digestive system is much more intelligent than that. As I mentioned in every live and every video, your digestive system is much more intelligent than you can imagine. Inside your large intestine live trillions of microorganisms. Okay, together they are called your gut microbiome. Your gut microbiome, now, before you think bacteria are always bad, many of these bacteria are actually working for you every single day. They help digestion, certain types of fiber, they produce beneficial compounds that support your immune system, and the scientists have even discovered that your gut communicates with your brain. Yes, as I mentioned in the last video or live, as your gut is your second brain. The scientists even discover that nowadays. So here is the question: what does a fig have to do with all of this? The answer is fiber. Fresh fig, like I have here, provide us dietary fiber, and dried figs provide even more fiber because serving the water has been removed from it. So the fiber becomes food for many beneficial bacteria living inside your colon. When this bacteria ferment fiber, one of the most produces a substance called short chain fatty acids. This short chain fatty acids, one of the most studied is butyrate. Okay, researchers are interested in butyrate because it appears that to help support the cell lining the colon and may contribute to maintaining a healthy gut environment. Can you imagine that? That doesn't mean fiber or figs are a treatment for digestive diseases, but it helps explain why diets rich in fiber, like in figs, are constantly associated with better digestion health. Okay, let me ask you something now. How often do you eat fruit? Every day, a few times a week, rarely, almost never. Write your answer in the comments. I'm always interested to see how different everyone's eating habits are. Okay, here is something many people don't know. Most adults don't get enough fiber. Yes, we don't get enough fibers. In fact, many people consume only about half of the daily amount recommended in dietary guidelines. And when fiber intake stays low for years, people may notice changes such as less satisfying bowel movement, feeling hungry again and again very quickly, reduced dietary variety. This is one of the reasons healthcare professionals often encourage increasing fiber gradually through whole foods, not because fiber is magic, but because your digestive system evolved to work with it. Okay, now here is one of the most questions you ask me. Which one is healthier? Fresh figs or dried figs? The answer is it depends on your goal. Fresh figs contain much more water. They are lower in calories per fruit. They are refreshing and they are a great option during fig season like today. Okay, but dried figs are different. When water is removed, everything else becomes more concentrated. That means more natural sugars, more calories per gram, but also more fiber, more minerals. So, dried figs can absolutely fit into a healthy diet. The key is portion size, not because dried figs are unhealthy, but because it's very easy to eat several without realizing how quickly the calories add up. Okay, now it's time for myth break. Here is another myth. Many people say, I don't eat fruit because fruit contains sugar, but let's put that into perspective. Yes, figs contain natural sugars, of course, but a whole fig is not the same things as eating candy, right? For sure, right. Why? Because whole fruit comes baked with fiber, water, minerals, vitamins, and many naturally occurring plants compound. Not nutrition is about the whole food, not just one ingredient. That's why scientists look at overall dietary patterns instead of judging foods by a single number. That's an important topic. Someone early, let's talk about what about blood sugar, and which is a very important topic. All of us asking about it. Some early studies suggest that certain compounds found in figs and fig leaves, especially, may influence glucose metabolism. Researchers are continuing to study this area, but here is what we know today. If you have diabetes or pre-diabetic, whole fruit can often be part of a balanced eating pattern. However, portion size matters. Your total carbohydrates intake matters, your overall diet matters, and any significant dietary changes should be discussed with your healthcare professional, especially if you are taking glucose lowering medication. No single fruit replaces medical care. Take care. But healthy eating patterns absolutely play an important role in long term metabolic health. So far, we have talked about digestion, fiber, the microbiome, and blood sugar. But now we are about the exploring something even more exciting. Can figs support your heart? What about your blood pressure, your bones, your immune system? And what do you the newest studies actually says about antioxidants inside this remarkable fruit? Stay with me because that's where the science becomes even more fascinating. I want you to write if you have any question inside here the comment section. I'm waiting for your answers and questions. I'm opening here. I'm seeing if you have any questions, please write it in the comment sections below. Okay, you don't have any questions, so you are with me. Okay, let's continue. Now we are getting to the part most people have been waiting for. Can one fruit really make a difference to your gut health or the overall health? The answer is not by itself. And that's probably the most important thing I always say today. There is no miracle or a miracle food. There is no superfruit that cancels out years of unhealthy habits. But some foods constantly appear in healthy diets and healthy dietary pattern that are associated with lower rates of the chronic diseases. Figs happen to be one of that those food worth playing or paying attention to in this concern. Let's see why. Your heart, let's talking about your heart and the relation between it and that fig. Did you know your heart beats about 100,000 times every single day without asking for a break, without asking or taking a vacation? Every second it works for you. So, what does a fig have to do with that? One word, potassium. Yes, potassium. Figs naturally contain potassium. Why does that matter? Because potassium helps balance the effects of sodium inside your body. Most people today eat far too much sodium in all foods around us and not enough potassium rich foods. That imbalance may contribute to elevate blood pressure in many individuals, right? Now, does eating figs lower blood pressure overnight? Of course, no. But diets rich in fruits and vegetables that naturally provide potassium are constantly associated with better cardiovascular health. That's why researchers don't focus on one fruit or only one fruit. They focus on eating patterns. Okay, let me ask you a question right now and be honest with me. How many servings of fruits do you usually eat each day? Zero fruits or one, two, three, or more? Write the numbers in the comments below and I will see it with you. Now let's talk about something you have probably heard hundreds of times, antioxidants. But what are they really? Imagine cutting an apple or this fig with me, okay? Leave it on the counter. A little later, it starts turning round, right? That's oxidation. A similar process can happen inside our bodies. Our cells constantly produce molecules called free radicals as part of normal metabolism. They are not always bad. In fact, your immune system even uses them. The problem comes when the balance shifts too far. That's called oxidative stress. Researchers believe oxidative stress play a major role in aging and many chronic diseases. This is where antioxidant-rich foods become interesting. Figs contain naturally occurring polyphenols and flavonoids. Scientists continue studying how these compounds may help protect cells from oxidative damage when consumed as part of an overall healthy diet. Notice what I said, part of a healthy diet, not magic, not cure. That's an important distinction. Okay, now here is something people often ask me, Dr. T, can figs boost my immune system? I don't like the word boost. Your immune system isn't a muscle you simply turn up. It's a complex network that needs balance. What figs can do for this network, it provide nutrients that support normal immune function, and vitamin C contributes to normal immune function. Copper helps several immune-related enzymes. Polyphenols can may help reduce oxidative stress, as I mentioned. But remember, your immune system depends on much more than one fruit. So, your immune system, let me repeat it again. Your immune system depends on much more than one fruit. Sleep, exercise, stress, overall diet, all of this matter. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you actually ate a whole piece of fruit? Not instead of drinking fruit juice, a whole fruit like this. Today, last week, this week, tell me below in the comments if you're eating a whole fruit instead of drinking the juices. Okay, most people immediately think of milk, right? When I'm talking about your bones, your brain shifted immediately and thinks about milk. But bones need much more than calcium. They also require magnesium, vitamin K, potassium, protein, regular physical activity. Figs naturally contain several minerals involved in bone health, especially dried figs, not this fresh one. I'm talking about the dried one here. Again, no single food prevents osteoporosis, but including minerals, a rich food as part of overall balanced diet may help support healthy bones over time, especially as we get older. Okay, let me talk about your brain. Let's talk about something fascinating. Your brain consumes about 20% of your body's energy. Did you know that? Even though it represents only a small percentage of your body weight, researchers are increasingly studying the connection between diet, inflammation, oxidative stress, and brain health. Some laboratories and animal studies suggest compounds found in figs have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. However, human research is still developing. That's important to know. Science is existing. But it also requires honestly about what we know and what we are still learning. The biggest mistake here I will see all the time. I see all the time people hear that food is healthy, so they assume more must be better. That's rarely true. Health isn't built by eating one amazing food. Health is built by constantly making hundreds of food decisions, day after day, week after week, month after month, and the fig isn't the hero. Your lifestyle is. The fig is simply one useful tool inside a much bigger picture. Don't leave yet, because in the final part today of today lives, we are going to answer the questions everyone asks. How many figs should you actually eat, fresh or dried, morning or evening? Who should avoid eating figs? Can they interact with medications? And what are the biggest myths people still believing about this ancient fruit? That's coming up next. Stay with me. If you have any question or any inquiry, want you to write it down in the comments. I'm checking the comments right now with you. Okay, I'm waiting for you. If you type anything, I'm going to answer you. Okay, before we finish, let's answer the questions I receive almost every summer. How many figs should you actually eat? Should they be fresh? Should they be dried? Is there a best time of day? And are there people who should be careful? Let's go through them one by one. Okay, here is something important. There isn't an official medication recommendation that says eat exactly 3 figs every day. Science doesn't work that way. Instead, nutrition experts recommended eating a variety of fruits as part of an overall balanced diet. For almost healthy adults, a reasonable serving would generally be 2 to 3 medium fresh figs like that, like this one, as you see here, 2 to 3 medium fresh figs or 2 to 4 dried figs. And remember, I mentioned the dried figs is more calories, have more calories. Okay, depending on your calorie needs and the rest of your daily diet. Remember, as I mentioned, dried figs are much smaller. The water has been removed, which means they are more concentrated in natural sugars and calories. That doesn't make them unhealthy, but it simply means portion size matters, as I prepare. Okay, tell me in the comments, which would you choose? Fresh figs or dried one? I especially like to eat all of it, fresh figs or and dried figs. But in the season of figs, I especially love to eat it as fresh one here because it's very yummy, so sweet, baked with minerals, vitamins, as I told you. Okay, people always ask me Another question: what's the best time to eat figs? Morning, evening, before bed, after exercise? The truth is, there isn't strongest scientific evidence I searched for showing one specific time is dramatically better than another. However, fresh figs make a wonderful snack. They also pair beautifully with Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, oats, mixed nuts, or a balanced breakfast. Why? Because combining fruit with protein and healthy fats may help make the meal more satisfying. Okay, another question I always ask it for: should you eat them on an empty stomach? Many people believe certain fruits only works if it eaten alone. The evidence for that idea is actually quite limited. Your digestive system is designed to digest mixed meals. If eating figs on an empty stomach feels good for you, that's perfectly fine. If you enjoy them with meals, as I mentioned, that's fine too. The best diet is the one you can constantly maintain. Okay, so we have differences between every individual. Yes, we call individual variation. So choose what makes you feel better. And the upcoming question is who should be careful? Now let's talk about something extremely important because not every healthy food is right for everyone or every person. As I mentioned in all my videos and lives, people living with diabetes, whole figs can absolutely fit into many healthy eating plans. But because they contain carbohydrates, as I mentioned, portion size matters. If you are talking, or if you are sorry, if you are taking a medication that lower blood sugar, talk with your healthcare provider about how fruit fits into your personal nutrition plan. Okay, figs naturally contain potassium, so many healthy people benefit from potassium-rich foods normally, but individuals with advanced kidney diseases are often advised to monitor potassium intake. So take care of this information. Always follow your doctor advices. Okay, people. Let's talk about people with allergies. Also uncommon. So some people may experience allergic reaction to figs or latex related fruits. Yes, it's I know it's uncommon and rare to listen it if you have allergy from figs, but if you have ever had swelling, difficulty breathing, or serving itching after eating figs, seek medical attention immediately and avoid eating them again until you have been evaluated. Okay, let's talk about people taking blood thinners. Figs contain vitamin K, as we mentioned, although not in extremely high amounts. If you are taking medications such as warfarin, the most important thing isn't avoiding vitamin K completely. It's keeping your intake relatively constant. Okay, so always discuss dietary changes with your healthcare professional for this one. The biggest myth here, let's post a few myths about figs. Figs cure diabetes. No, there's no evidence that figs cure diabetes in the medical researchers nowadays until now. Okay, the second one, you can eat unlimited dried figs because they are naturally also false. Natural doesn't mean unlimited. Calories still matter, portion size still matter. The third myth is fresh figs are always healthier than dried figs. Not necessarily. Fresh figs contain more water, as you see here. It contains a lot of water. Here, if I squeeze it for you here, you can see you can see an amount of water evaporated from it. Not only the seed here, yes, all of it is water. It contains a lot amount of water. Dried figs contain more concentrated nutrients per gram. Both can fit into a healthy diet, as we mentioned. The upcoming myth is one superfood can fix poor health. Definitely not. Your health is built from your daily habits, sleep, movement, stress management, nutrition, relationships, purposes. This matter far more than any single food alone. My final message here, if there's one thing I would love for you to remember after today's life, it's this. Don't chase miracle foods. Build a miracle lifestyle. One healthy choice repeated constantly. When you repeat it consistently, can become a completely different future. The fig isn't powerful because it's a magic, or it's powerful because it reminds us that nature has provides us with foods rich in fiber, minerals, vitamins, and plant compounds that can support health when they are part of an overall balanced lifestyle. And that's exactly what evidence based nutrition is about. Not fear, not hype, not miracle cures, just good science, made simple. Before we finish, I have one last question for you. What's one fruit you would love me to cover next? Blueberries, pomegranate, kiwi, dates, avocado, or something completely different? Leave it in the comments below. I read every single suggestion. Some of my best videos have come directly from your ideas. If today's life helped you look at food in a completely different way, please take 2 seconds to support the channel. Like this live, leave a comment, share it with someone who loves healthy eating, and take care of his health. And if you are new to Dr. T Health, subscribe now. Every week, we break down nutrition, healthy aging, metabolism, longevity, and the science behind everyday foods, using evidence, not methods. My mission isn't to sell supplements, it's to help you understand your body, because once you understand your body, you make better decisions for the rest of your life. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next live on Dr. T Health Channel. Thank you.